Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you guys? So, hope you fine and stay at home. Okay, my name is Jessica Aprilia and I come from the class of Phonology subject, and now I would like to explain about the word stress and intonation, conversation, then intonation rules. So the first is the word stress. All stressed syllables are more prominent than unstressed syllables. There are 4 different factors that are important. The first is stressed syllables are louder than unstressed syllables. The second, the length of syllables. This length of syllables is if one syllable is longer than the others, there is quite a strong tendency to hear it is stressed. And the third is the pitch of the syllable. The pitch in speech is related to the frequency of vibration of the vocal cords and to the musical notion of low and high-pitched notes. And the last is a syllable will tend to be more prominent if it contains a vowel that is different in quality from neighboring vowels. Next, word stress or guidelines. There are 3 types of word stress guidelines. The first is simple, which consists only one morpheme, like return, cotton, potato. And the second is complex. It contains one or more bound, like morphemes, affixes, prefix, or suffix, and others. And the third is compound. Compound is more than one unbound, like greenhouse, handbag, whitewash, like that. And in order to decide on stress placement, it is necessary to make use of some or all of the following information. The first, whether the word is morphologically simple or complex. Second, the grammatical category to which the word belongs to, noun, verb, adverb, or etc. The third, the number of syllables in the word. The fourth, the phonological structure of the syllables. So, simple words have to consider the following, the 3 kinds. The first is the phonological structure of the syllable, the number of syllables, and the third is the grammatical category. Okay, first, simple words. 2 syllables word that contain verb, adverb, adjective, prepositions. The phonological structure is if the second syllable of the word is heavy. And the second syllables means stress is if heavy, like that. And simple word, 2 syllables noun. If the second syllable contains a short vowel, the stress will usually come on first syllable. Otherwise, it will be on the second syllable. Simple words in 3 syllables, that is verbs. Last syllable stress is heavy, entertain, resurrect, introduce. Okay, then complex word, suffix. There is a suffix. In a suffix, do not affect the stress pattern, and type the stress themselves. Okay, that's all from the word stress. Now we continue to the intonation conversation. So the definition of English intonation is a complicated and varied phenomenon. There are dialectal and regional differences in intonation. For example, there are quite a few differences between British and American intonation, like that. And in general, linguists distinguish several types of English intonation. Falling intonation and rising intonation are the two basic types used in different types of sentence. These types of intonation are described in falling intonation and rising intonation. So it is necessary to study English intonation together with your study of grammar and vocabulary as soon as you begin studying English, because it will be difficult to get rid of the Russian accent later on. So the best way to study English intonation is by listening and repeating. So the falling action. The standard automatic falling intonation is the most common type of intonation in English. It is used in statements, declarative sentence, special questions, commands, or imperative sentence, exclamatory sentence in the first part of disjunctive questions, and in the last part of alternative questions. So, in a statement, the example is, we live in Moscow. She is 10 years old. He doesn't have a car. In commands, stop it, sit down, or close your book and listen. Open the door, please. Like that. In exclamatory sentence, hello, good morning. And the meaning of a falling intonation is used for asking and giving information in normal, quiet, and unemphatic style. At the same time, falling intonation conveys certain emotions such as completion, finality, confidence. Falling intonation sounds more categorical, confident, and convincing than rising intonation. So here the example from the tag questions. You live here, don't you? Like that. And the high fall may be used for extra emphasis in informal situation to express lively interest and friendliness, for example, in greeting and in exclamations. So now we move to rising intonation. English rising intonation is a rather complicated phenomenon. It can express various emotions such as non-finality, incompleteness, question, surprise, and others. Standard patterns in rising intonation is used in general questions, in introductory phrases, at the beginning of the sentence, in the first part of alternative questions. And general question, the example is, do you go there often? Was she glad to see him? And introductory phrases, if he calls, ask him to come. Alternative questions. So, fall rise may be used instead of the normal rising tone in unfinished parts of sentence, for example, in introductory phrases. High rise may be used for expressing strong surprise or disbelief. Change of standard patterns of rising or falling intonation also has meaning that this general expresses completion, finality, and confidence. Yeah, that's all from the intonation conversation. Now we move to intonation rules. First, what is intonation? Intonation is about how we say things rather than what we say, the way the voice rises and falls when speaking. In other words, the music of the language. Pitch of the voice falls at the end of the sentence. So falling intonation is the most common intonation pattern in English. It is commonly found in statement counts, WH question, confirmatory questions, tags, and exclamations. In statement